I'm now standing here with incredible joy and gratitude. And exactly 10 years ago, in April monthly Sampai, today is the April monthly Sampai, I was standing on the stage with a chair. I couldn't stand. That morning, I had pain. That pain became bigger and bigger. And finally, after I gave Jory, I couldn't stand. Excruciating pain took me over. And my wife Jane drove me to the hospital. And immediately I was hospitalized for checkup. And to make a long story short, I was released 2-3 days, and with the doctor's permission, I was allowed by doctor to try Joray and diet, special diet. In a few weeks, I was fortunately to be back to normal, and without any medical procedures. It was a miracle. And this incident invited me to an incredible journey of relearning Meisama's teachings and thinking of my lifestyle and reevaluating my relationships, and everything came, my food, soil of my soul, and I became a new person. I'm standing here as a new person, which all happened in the last 10 years. I'm very happy for this blessing. And I feel like this flower arrangement. Every week, every Friday, my wife Jane makes a flower arrangement for this function in the last 1 week. And I asked her, how did you do this? And she said, every week the Toyo flower florist in Hollywood, where Junzo used to work, we have a contract. Every week they bring the best flowers and give it to Jane. So Jane have to work giving flowers. So this was given to her this week. And it's the next week Rosanna is going to make a arrangement. But it's dancing. I feel that way. So I have a pink tie. I never wear pink tie, except monthly Sampai in April. And I believe that everything happened for a reason. Thanks to Meishu-sama's teaching, the purification, the law of purification. I tried to find out not only the physical cause of the colon problem, but also the spiritual reason from which I can learn and grow. This incident took me to the incredible journey. And I truly became a new person in the last 10 years. I now have a new way to look at my body and mind. And like Kaishu-sama, I truly believe that purification is great God's blessing. So if you are currently going through the difficult time, physically, financially, relationship, they are all purification. Yes, it is painful, but it's at the same time, it's an opportunity for us to grow. The theme of my speech today is becoming the instantaneous self. I believe by becoming the instantaneous self, we can grasp the central point of the matters easily and therefore discover solutions swiftly. In other words, it is easier to be guided by the divine. So let's find out how we can become the instantaneous self. This is how Meishu-sama described the instantaneous self. Quote, "It is a state of consciousness that allows a person to react exactly at the point, at that instant when he sees or hears something. It is not hampered or distorted by preconditions, prejudices, preconceptions, or other obstructions. It is just like the spontaneous reaction of a child. Children's questions to adults' statements are often highly valued, and this is exactly because they have none of those obstructions. So why do we adults have these obstructions? Meishu-sama explained that all people, as soon as they attain an elementary state of consciousness, begin to ask questions, listen to traditional stories, and receive the ideas and the values of their culture. These form a rigid and inflexible structure at the center of their minds. For this reason, if they hear anything different from what they know, this mental structure interposes and prevents their consciousness from taking in the new information in the form that they hear it. So how can we get rid of these obstructions? I think we cannot do it. These contain much of the wisdom, knowledge, and experiences that we have accumulated throughout our lives. These obstructions are embedded into ourselves, and they can help us to get what we need. So they are not our enemies, but they are our allies. But when we want to become the instantaneous self, it is good to remove your preconditions, prejudices, preconceptions, or other obstructions. So keep an open mind and welcome new ideas and experiences. Here I want to tell you about two things you can do easily to loosen up the mind's conditioning so that you can operate more from the instantaneous self. The first suggestion is what I have recently been doing every day. I give acknowledgement to my busy brain, which has been working so tirelessly, but by saying, since I got this colon problem, I've been talking to my body. So brain, I talk to brain. Thank you for your hard work, but please slow down and rest when I don't need you. It is always good to express gratitude even to our body. So back to how I do it. When I meet someone or attend a meeting, which happens every day, I meet somebody, I attend meetings. So I try not to premeditate on the outcome of the meeting. Even I have a big agenda. Okay, I have to make this happen. I have to convince this stuff to this person. But I try not. Just like going to a movie without ending, without knowing the ending. So each moment you get excited. So something like that. I meet people, I attend the meeting without no agenda. I try to be a blank. And in this way, I can relax myself at the meetings and leave everything up to, not to my brain, but up to divine assistance. So this is how you can get best meeting. Fortunately, the outcome usually seems very favorable to me. So would you try this from today? Meet people and attend the meetings without any scenarios and expectations. Just be there and enjoy each moment. Be present, be full yourself, and the divine assistance guides you. Are you afraid? Are you nervous? Meishu-sama says that contrary to what most people do, it is not practical for you to always act according to preconceived ideas. The ability to spontaneously adapt yourself to the environment is the key. If you know how to do this, nothing impossible. God is guiding you. The second suggestion needs some explanation because it's like a medical fact. It is based on the scientific discovery about our brain functions. It is called default mode network. DEFAULT, default mode network. DMN for short. I'm going to show very soon, okay? In the early 2000s, brain researcher Marcus Rachel discovered the default mode network without accidentally, without any conceived notion of it. In the past, it was believed that we use our brain when we focus on the difficult tasks, whereas when we are relaxed or not doing any demanding work, our brain rests. Are you with me? Your brain is working? But what Marcus discovered here was astonishing. It turns out that when we are relaxing, a special brain network gets connected, and our brain is just as busy as when we are focusing on difficult tasks. This special network is called default mode network. When we are busy, this default mode network doesn't appear. Have to be relaxed or think nothing. Now this discovery has become one of the hottest subjects among brain researchers. Is anybody here a brain researcher? No. Recently, I was watching a TV program on the human brain. They were talking about the default mode network. I'd like to show you some of the images from this TV program. It is amazing how our brain works. Okay. Oh, okay. In this TV program, they had a guest. This is Matayoshi. He's a famous novelist, but he's a comedian. So he can talk about jokes, and then he can write very serious literature. And so they used his brain to find out what happened. Okay. This is outside. Okay, next. The inside. This we are familiar with this brain. This we have a brain. But check out this skin and then go into there. Inside of this. Okay, this one is the inside. All the nerve systems here, network. And when, okay, next one. Okay. I forgot, next one. Okay, back to this brain with shining. They are in the default mode network. The brain is working, everywhere is working. This person is working on the serious tasks, like a company board meeting, a Shumei America sensei meeting. Or political people talking about how to do economical issues. But they are working so hard to find out the solution, but the brain is very limited. This one is like taking a shower. Your brain is alert everywhere. That's why how they can get ideas. Next one. So both this one is your the default. Both are default mode network. This one is you are not thinking anything, just walking or taking a shower or hot bath. This one is the idea. So the Matayoshi, this person, he was instructed when he got the new idea, push button. At that moment, his brain became like this. Okay, that's it. That's it. Hi, thank you. So you can come up with your own way of being relaxed. Taking a shower, soaking in the hot bathtub, taking a walk, daydreaming, etc. Notice how your mind wanders to things of the past or possibilities of the future. Brain researchers say that emotional processing increases when the mind is allowed to wander. They also theorize that important information is connected to various memories, even the most trivial ones. These memories give context to information that we may need later. It is like a mental filing system. Have you noticed how certain songs on the radio bring up memories from the past? Information is stored based on mental associations. So when our mind wanders, we have access to much information that is not always available when we consciously focus. Have you noticed how when you are daydreaming, various creative ideas spontaneously pop up? It's true for me. Thomas Edison, the famous American inventor, said that most of his best ideas came to him while taking afternoon naps. Of course, afterwards, he needed to focus and work out the details of actually creating his inventions. The phonograph, the modern light bulb, the electrical grid, and motion pictures. By becoming the instantaneous self, I believe also we can invite the wisdom of the universe to guide us. In other words, we are not relying on just our thoughts tell us what to do. We are opening up to much more information, both conscious and unconscious, to help us act wisely. Probably in this aspect, I believe meditation is very powerful. Since I'm not good at the meditation, I leave it to somebody else. Lately, I have been enjoying cooking, gardening, and walking. When I was working on the garden front by the pedestrian street, and somebody stopped. You are the director of Shumei America. Why you are doing this? Well, this is my hobby. This is my meditation. So I can get all kinds of ideas, my whole brain, default mode network. I didn't say that to that person. I have discovered these activities, cooking, gardening, and walking, are not only relaxing for my body and mind, but also giving me nice creative ideas. Therefore, now I don't sit on my desk to create my speeches or solve difficult Shumei America's problems. I walk, I cook, I work in my garden. So if you ever see me wandering along the sidewalk of Pasadena, or putting weeds in the garden, or preparing my lunch in the kitchen, I am not just doing nothing, but I'm doing a creative work. Don't bother me. So let's enjoy our wonderful body and brain and the connection with the universe by doing nothing, thinking nothing. Thank you very much.